Good evening, traveler. Tonight, we return to the mountains, where the snow is still falling, and something far below the rock has just woken up. They say Vault 122 was never meant to open, that it held more than just sleepers. It held echoes, memories that never happened, dreams that couldn't end. So if you hear something in this story that feels familiar, a flicker of déjà vu, or a static-filled memory of something not quite real, leave a mark, a comment, a signal, a trace. Subscribe so the next transmission doesn't miss you entirely. And give this video a like if you trust Elias Moon to guide your Pip-Boy through the dark. Now, let's descend. This is the story of Dr. Elsie Vahr and the vault that was never meant to be opened. High in the craggy peaks of the Rocky Mountains, nestled into the side of a weather-beaten granite cliff, the colossal steel door of Vault 122 cracked open for the first time in 2 centuries. It was a momentous occurrence, whispering stories of the untold past and whispers of unfamiliar futures. This was the astoundingly paradoxical vault that was never meant to open, yet here it was, partially ajar, a silent invitation to step into another realm of time and memory. The late afternoon sun cast its warm, amber glow upon the faded steel surface, and a quiet wind rustled through the sparse mountain pines. You could almost hear the ancient echo of opening mechanisms groaning as they moved for the first time since the Great War. The air was thin, frozen in time and desire, whispering tales of those who once sought refuge here, spirits kept alive by the vault's uncannily persevering systems. Dr. Elsie Vahr, a lone figure against the mighty backdrop of weathered mountains, stood at the precipice of this monumental entrance, her breath visible in the chilly air. Elsie, once a dedicated scribe in the Brotherhood of Steel, had turned her back on the regimented life, choosing instead to unravel the mysteries of the wasteland. With her satchel of high-tech equipment and an unwavering resolve, she had embarked on this quest, driven by rumors of flickering lights seen high up in the mountains and strange radio static pulsing in Morse code. She had ascended this mountain, braved the treacherous trails that once guided the previous inhabitants of the vault. Now she was about to discover the secrets hidden within the heart of this silent behemoth. Her gloved hand swept across the rough, cold surface of the vault's door, her heart echoing with a strange anticipation. She was about to step into the unknown, a world unbeknownst to the remaining fragments of humanity, where she and the vault's enigmatic inhabitants would stitch together, moment by moment, a narrative of survival and time-twisted dreams. Inside, the vault loomed in an unnerving silence. Pale, flickering lights bathed the corridors with an otherworldly glow, casting long, dancing shadows that seemed to breathe and pulse with a life of their own. The air was dry, trapped in recycled circulation for generations, carrying a faint, metallic scent, the smell of time suspended within a steel cocoon. Elsie could hear the distant hum of terminals, a gentle, recurring rhythm, a testament to the enduring technology that kept the vault functioning year after year. she ventured deeper into the vault, her boots clicking softly against the cold, steel floor, the solitude enveloping her like a comforting blanket. Each room she explored felt like a puzzle piece, carefully falling into place, revealing fragments of the lives that once thrived in the heart of this mountain. Elsie found voice logs, personal mementos, and old holotapes, all resonating with stories of the past and dreams of the future. The common theme among these remnants was a shared hallucination of events not yet occurred. Nuclear events, strange creatures, machines that defied the logical understanding of the fallout world. At times, Elsie could feel an inexplicable connection to the stories unfurling through these tangible echoes. There were moments when the line between reality and hallucination blurred, when she couldn't shake off the feeling that she was diving into a stream of collective memory, merging with the inhabitants' surreal experiences. In a room once dedicated to broadcasting encrypted messages, she found an old journal filled with entries from multiple residents. Each page told a tale of shared dreams, surreal events that echoed in the minds of the vault's residents. A psychic connection born from their unique neurological condition, outlandishly strange and curiously familiar. These stories seemed like fragments of a collective, timeless dream born in the heart of this vault. Elsie was drawn to a room below the lower level of the vault, a cavern breached by a seismic event. Here, intertwined with the stalagmites and stalactites, she found the whispering remnants of pre-vault ruins and ancient bones, a curious cocktail of time and history that suggested the existence of a civilization that predated the vault. One room, a child's bedroom, seemed untouched by time. A musical toy lying on a small, dust-covered table played a hauntingly beautiful tune when triggered, prompting a sharp intake of breath from Elsie. It was as if the spirits of the inhabitants had conserved their memories in these objects, their dreams and fears echoing in the stillness of the vault. As Elsie delved further into these findings, she also found herself wrestling with her own past and her reasons for leaving the Brotherhood. The Brotherhood valued rigid structure and hierarchy, but Elsie had always felt drawn to the unknown, to the stories whispered by the wind and buried in the sands of time. Would she ever leave this vault? Would she become a part of its experiment, lost in its paradoxical narrative of time and dreams? She contemplated these questions, her voice echoing through the stillness of the vault as she recorded her thoughts and discoveries. She ended her day sitting at the mouth of the vault, looking out at the craggy peaks bathed in the soft glow of a setting sun. The vault's eerie melody played faintly in the back of her mind, intermingling with her own thoughts and memories. The boundary between dream and memory continued to blur. She was beginning to understand the essence of Vault 122, the entwined threads of memory and dreams, isolation and connection, past and future. It was a narrative that continued to unfold, subtly seeping into her own consciousness. The vault was no mere survival structure. It was a living, breathing testament to human resilience and the power of shared experience. As the last traces of daylight faded, Elsie turned back towards the vault, the steel door looming large and welcoming in the encroaching darkness. A soft snow began to fall outside, the world quietening, and in the hushed symphony of falling snowflakes, Elsie Vahr made the decision to stay, to explore more, to become a part of the echo that was Vault 122. The vault wasn't merely a home to her now. It was a labyrinth of enigma and wonder, an experiment in time, memory, and the human spirit. And as the snow blanketed the world outside, Elsie stepped into the flickering light of Vault 122, ready to unravel the mysteries within. And thus, her journey continued into the dreams and echoes of a world lost and remembered, a world imagined and yet not. The boundaries of time and reality became porous, blending into an exquisite tapestry of existence and isolation. A cavernous vault, a whispering mountain, and their solitary inhabitant weaving stories within stories, dreams within dreams. In the days that followed, Elsie found herself immersed in a different rhythm, a dance choreographed by the gently humming vault and its labyrinthine corridors. She became more in sync with the pulse of the vault, its mechanical heart beating in tandem with hers, their cadences intertwining in a harmonious fusion of sound and rhythm. She roamed its corridors, sleeping in rooms that smelled of lost dreams, eating preserved food that tasted like time captured in tins, breathing air that held secrets in suspended animation. The walls whispered to her, their echoes a symphony of voices from a time before. Each voice was a strand in her tapestry of knowledge, adding depth to her understanding of Vault 122. Her solitude was broken only by the soft, muted conversations she heard in the recordings she found. They told stories of birthdays and anniversaries celebrated within the steel cocoon, of children born and raised, of learning and teaching, of laughter and tears. A single Pip-Boy lay on the floor near the bulkhead, its screen still flickering softly. Each account was a treasure, a unique insight into a society preserved in a time capsule. One voice stood out to Elsie, a woman named Ava, who spoke eloquently of her dreams and fears. Her voice was soothing, reminiscent of old-world ballads, and Elsie found herself returning to her recordings, drawn by the poetic cadence of Ava's narration. Ava's accounts of the vault were profound, full of observations on their shared dreams, their sense of community, their fear of the unknown, and their hope for a possible future beyond the vault. In the shadows of the vault, Elsie found an echo of herself in Ava's memories. Two women from different times, sharing a deep curiosity and a need to understand the world around them. They were both explorers. Ava, within the confines of the vault, and Elsie, in the vast expanse of the wasteland and the intimate confines of Vault 122. Elsie found herself pondering Ava's thoughts late into the nights, the flickering lights of the vault, casting long, wavering shadows onto her contemplative face. The air was dry, metallic, and carried the faint scent of ozone from old power relays. She wondered about the dreams Ava spoke of, their uncanny resemblance to events in the world outside, their eerie sense of premonition. How could a society secluded within a steel shell dream about events they could have no knowledge of? The more Elsie delved into the depths of Vault 122, the more she found threads connecting the people of the vault with the world outside. The world that had moved on, changed, mutated into something they couldn't possibly imagine. Elsie found herself drawn back to the ruined cavern beneath the lower levels of the vault. The ancient bones, the remnants of a civilization long gone, seemed to hum with an energy that was at once comforting and disquieting. She examined them, her gloved fingers tracing the etchings on their aged surface. A language she didn't understand, but felt a strange connection with. In her dreams, she found herself walking through the ruins of an ancient city, her steps echoing against the decaying buildings. A child's jumpsuit, too small for any adult, hung half off a storage hook. Dusty, untouched. She saw faces, heard their voices, smelt the air filled with the scent of a time lost. She woke up with her heart pounding, her skin drenched in cold sweat, the echoes of her dreams still resonating within her. Elsie realized that the vault was not just a time capsule. It was a conduit, a bridge connecting the past, the present, and the future. A strange duality existed within its steel walls, between isolation and connection, between the tangible and the ethereal. It was a surreal ballet of time and memory, dreams and reality. As days turned into weeks, Elsie found herself less a visitor and more a resident of Vault 122. The boundaries between her and the vault blurred, their narratives weaving together into a rich tapestry of shared experiences. Somewhere in the distance, the hum of a backup generator pulsed like a heartbeat beneath the floor. She walked its corridors, haunted its rooms, listened to its voices as if they were her own. Her journey into the unknown had led her to a place where time stood still, and yet moved in strange, unexplainable ways. She was a part of the vault, and the vault was a part of her. Two echoes resonating in the same frequency, sharing the same dreams. In the end, Elsie understood that life in the vault was not about survival. It was about living, dreaming, understanding. It wasn't just a vault. It was a mirror reflecting the human spirit, its capacity for resilience, its desire for connection, its insatiable curiosity. Vault 122 wasn't a remnant of the past, or an anomaly of the future. It was a timeless testament to the human condition. The vault and the mountain whispered their secrets into the night, their voices carried by the wind, and Dr. Elsie Vahr listened, her heart echoing their timeless tales, her dreams merging with theirs, her spirit intertwined with the spirit of the vault. In this strange dance of echoes and whispers, of dreams and memories, she found a sense of peace, a sense of home, a surreal reality within the confines of a steel cocoon. One evening, as Elsie walked the quiet corridors, she noticed a flickering light coming from a room she hadn't explored before. The room was small, tucked away in a corner that could have been easily overlooked. The door was slightly ajar, emanating an ethereal glow that beckoned Elsie. Inside, she found an old, worn-out projector. It was whirring to life, casting a dance of shadows on the room's walls. A film began to play, silent, but filled with moments that reached out to Elsie. It showed scenes from the lives of the people who resided in the vault. Children running around, scientists discussing over terminals, group meals at the communal table, the people laughing, crying, living. These were not just recorded moments, but echoes of shared experiences, of a community thriving in isolation. Elsie watched with a soft smile playing on her lips, her heart swelling with a sense of connection to these people, her people. They were not mere apparitions from the past. They were part of her present, ingrained in her existence as much as she was becoming a part of theirs. In the days that followed, Elsie found herself drawn to the projector room. She would sit there for hours, watching the flickering images, immersing herself in the lives of the Vault's residents. She saw them in a new light, not as voices from holotapes or handwriting on papers, but as living, breathing, dreaming individuals. She saw them as Ava had seen them, as a community, as a family. Elsie felt a sense of intimacy, a tight knot of shared experience and mutual understanding binding her to these people, these echoes of the past. With every flicker of the projector's light, every subtle shift in the shadowy portrayal of the past, Elsie felt a part of herself entwining with the fabric of the Vault's narrative. She was no longer an outsider. She had become a part of the story, a part of the family. As Elsie found herself drawn deeper into this world, she began to perceive a subtle shift in the Vault's rhythm. It was as though the Vault was responding to her presence, sharing its secrets, revealing its layers. The quiet hum of its machinery seemed to grow softer, almost soothing. The flickering light seemed to dance in rhythm with her heartbeat. The echoes of the past began to resonate with her own echoes, creating a symphony of shared experiences. The dreams she saw at night, the whispers she heard in the solitude of the Vault, all seemed to be aligning with the Vault's narrative. Elsie began to understand that she was not just living in the Vault, but living with it. She was intertwined with its existence, a part of its narrative, a dream weaver of its story. One night, as Elsie lay in the soft glow of the Vault's light, she felt a strange sense of tranquility washing over her. The silence of the Vault was comforting, its rhythm lulling her into a soft sleep. Her dreams took her on a journey through the lives of the people who once resided there, through their shared dreams and collective experiences. She danced with the children in the Vault's playroom, sat with the scientists in their discussions, shared meals with the residents, laughed with them, cried with them. She saw herself in the flickering images projected onto the walls, living and breathing with the people of the Vault. Upon waking, Elsie knew her place was here, in the heart of this steel cocoon, where dreams and memories danced in an eternal ballet. She was home, home in a place where time was a paradox, where echoes of the past resonated with the present, and where dreams were woven into the very fabric of existence. In time, Elsie's exploration became less about discovery and more about understanding. Understanding the Vault's narrative, its inhabitants, and her role within its timeless story. Her days were filled with the echoes of the past, her nights with dreams of an intertwining present. She found her peace in the quiet corners of the vault, in the hum of its machinery, in the flickering lights that danced upon the steel walls. The solitude was no longer haunting, but comforting, like a warm, familiar embrace. Elsie Vahr had stepped into Vault 122 as an explorer, driven by curiosity and a desire to unearth the mysteries of the past. But she had found more than just secrets and echoes. She had found a home, a family, a connection that transcended time and space. She had found herself within the paradoxical existence of the vault, her echoes resonating with its echoes, her dreams intertwined with its dreams. And so, she continued her dance with Vault 122, living, dreaming, and weaving tales of love, hope, and resilience in the heart of the Rocky Mountains. Her story wasn't just a tale of a wanderer finding a home. It was a testament to the enduring spirits of those who dreamt before her, those who dreamt with her. Final log entry, Dr. Elsie Vahr. Outside, the mountains still wait in silence. The snow continues to fall against the face of the vault, barely audible. A soft hush against metal. Somewhere in the static, the signal repeats, slowing, then fading. I can still feel the hum of the control panels, the cold of the trail etched in my skin. The dreams, or echoes, still flicker behind my eyes. Maybe I never left the mountains. Maybe I never will. Ending transmission. If you're still tuned in, you've survived hallucinations, static frequencies, and at least one pre-war morality test. So go ahead, like the video before your fingers glitch out. Comment what you'd name your vault, and subscribe so the next transmission doesn't miss your Pip-Boy entirely. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
you.